Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. Dylan here. We have a major bombshell today from Gutfeld, from Fox News. He just came out and revealed the truth. And he's really calling out the Democrats big time. He's a really funny guy, but he also speaks a lot of facts. And he's revealing what he really pointed out, that's something that nobody else noticed about the almost Trump shooting, assassination attempt. And now what Democrats are doing afterwards. So we're going to dive in, but before we do, we're going to read scripture because God comes first. Amen? Comment amen below if you believe God comes first. And without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Amen. So comment amen down below. And my brothers and sisters, congratulations to everyone who has begun investing in the stock market under President Trump. The stock market just hit a new all-time high, so we are celebrating. And this is the best time to get started. We have a free offer linked below. You can sign up, join, or you can scan this QR code and get signed up in a few minutes. Just take out your phone, point it at the screen, click that link, and you can start investing with just a couple of dollars. All right, guys, let's tune in to Greg Gutfeld. Political violence on both sides. Greg Gutfeld's like, are you joking me?
Yeah, and also the research that the media uses to kind of equate both sides is incredibly flawed. A joke even. I mean, I could just list the types of crimes, whether it is ambushes. We remember the ambushes. We remember the sustained rioting, the sustained looting, the attacks on government facilities, the attacks on law enforcement, businesses, individuals, religious institutions. It's like something nearly 500 in the past, 7 years that could be linked to the left, one to the right, January 6th. And that has been exploited. We know that. I am going to say let's just ignore the rhetoric. We're never going to get past that. The rhetoric thing is done. It's a tradition in America to say bad things about people. So why don't we just ask who's guilty of the violence? You know, that's the avoidance that we're seeing in the media. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get us into the battle over rhetoric. Well, you guys do it too. Well, I do it too. Okay, then let's just find out what side's words lead to violence. Because I agree with you, Trump says some really mean things, but we don't kill the Democrats afterwards. Liberals won't advance to that next step. They want you to believe it's about the quantity of rhetoric when it's really the quantity of violence from the rhetoric. The Dems simply compare the rhetoric divorced from the sustained violence. It is that simple. And I'm invested in that. I'm invested in that a lot. I am very wary of people who say both sides. And I think because it betrays, it's a confession. When somebody says both sides are doing it, they're not denying that they're doing it. Yeah, you got me.
But I want to be clear.
Wait, no, I'm not talking about you, Harold.
I'm guilty of what you said. I admit both sides do it. I mean...
Yeah. Okay. Well, then let me... when somebody says both sides do it, they aren't defending their side. They're just saying you do it too. So instead of arguing against the accusation, they expand the definition of what it is. So I'm just talking about...
Yeah, I guess what he's saying is like both sides is justifying that it's okay because, oh, well, both people do it, so it's okay. Rather than being like, we should stop.
Violence, okay? That was created by political instruction to do so. By all means necessary, eliminate. But they said, well, you call Democrats communists. You call them losers and creeps. Not the point. I'm just talking about the sustained violence. So when they say on both sides, they are basically just shifting, I hate to say goalposts, but they're changing it. My last point, then I'll shut up. We're all familiar with the broken windows theory, where visible signs of disorder create a lack of societal control. And that encourages for more and more serious crimes. Where did this left-wing violence come from? Well, how many instances have we seen in the last 10 years where conservatives were targeted on campus? Pro-lifers get attacked, Riley Gaines gets swarmed, speakers are mobbed, vandalism everywhere. No, countless attacks. nobody gets charged. Tolerance towards that violence was the broken window theory that now makes it seem to younger people, young men, that violence is now more acceptable. It's the same kind of incubation you see on city streets where, vandalism, public urination then leads to mugging. So
that's a really good point, the broken window theory.
Whoa, that's crazy. And he just obliterated Jessica Tarlov.
You can't understand Trump because his political decisions align with his personal and patriotic ones. You understand Kamala, you understand Gavin, you understand Biden because their political decisions are divorced from the things people want. Why are you on the 20 of every 80-20 issue? Is because you divorced political desires from human needs. And then you have to dress up your decisions as compassion when they're merely wants from an activist class. The thing about Trump is, I don't care whether you like him or hate him, you're suffering from the Trump America alignment problem. Political, personal, and patriotic desires all stack up. You can't understand Trump because...
So basically what's going on in New York, they're calling it, Commie Mamdani. Greg Gutfeld is just absolutely losing his mind over socialist Seattle mayor. Glad millionaires are leaving. She says, bye! They're literally kicking him out. You cannot make this up. And Greg Gutfeld's talking about Mayor Mamdani as well.
Socialism experiments in blue cities aren't exactly going very well. Take Seattle's new socialist mayor, Katie Wilson, for example. She's got a lengthy list of free things that she would like to hand out, and she's not sorry to rich taxpayers who are fleeing because they and their businesses don't want to have to pay for them. Why?
I think the claims that millionaires are going to leave our state are like super overblown, and if the ones that leave, bye.
She loves what she said. She's like, I love Kamala Harris. I hate Trump.
All right, so all over New York City, with the city facing a $6 billion.
So let's hear what Gutfeld has to say.
The thing about
I think these people were not well educated. I don't think that they had a civic understanding, economic understanding, and now they're in control of these cities.
The thing about Mamdani, you have to remember, he is the mayor of New York City. New York City is a mess. Who do you blame? There are no Republicans. So what are they doing? They can't just point to those other guys. It's their fault. He's essentially a single parent with a drug problem. You can't blame the woman who left you. You're the one who's got this issue. So who do they blame? Who do you blame? They turn to the citizens. They turn to the voters.
Crazy.
The rich voters, the rich Democrats. I don't know any rich Republicans that even voted in this election in New York. So they're actually, I was going to use a metaphor that involved violence, but I won't. He's actually setting his sights on somebody to blame, and it's the rich people. Now, the Seattle mayor, this is a person who has never gotten a mortgage, signed a rental agreement, managed a budget. She's been financed by her parents, a luxury enjoyed by many of these, what would you call socialists, socialite socialists, like Mamdani, Hassan. They live these pampered lives while they inflict the hardship of their beliefs on others who don't have a wealthy mommy or daddy there to keep them out of trouble. This is why she says, when you look at that face, what you see there is the warm embrace of ignorance. The less you know about how things work, whether it's incentives or trade-offs or human behavior, the easier it is to spout terrible ideas. It's a refusal to understand as a method of political preservation. She can destroy an economy without hesitation just because she doesn't know what she doesn't know. And it's that easy. And it's like, if she learned 5% about how an economy works, why people are fleeing, her entire worldview would crumble. It's just better to live at home and, watch something that somebody like that watches.
What do they watch, Greg?
It's like the Cats of Beverly Hills. I don't know.
Wow. All right, here's Greg with all the latest news, guys. Let's tune in. This is breaking.
So this week, a Minnesota mom and dad and their daughter were hit with federal charges for allegedly assaulting a Turning Point reporter at an anti-ICE protest. If only we had some concrete proof, like some irrefutable video evidence. Oh, wait, we do.
I didn't even come here today to, try and interview people. I came here to simply observe and out of my you don't know.
Oh my gosh, look at that lady blowing the whistle in her ear. That could literally pop your eardrum, dude. Oh! Oh!
Isn't that nice? The whole clan sharing some nice family assault time. Right. Afterward, they're going to a petting zoo to kill their dinner. Let's hear from
He's hilarious, guys.
the dad who punched the reporter.
The last 4 days have been hell, honestly. I mean, we're getting attacked from all sides. Our jobs, our livelihood, my daughter's college, just every aspect of life. We're being
not surprised at all.
Because they've doxed us online with all our information, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Aww. You poor. Sorry, you can't assault a woman and then say you're the victim. Well, unless it's Caitlin Clark. Sorry, this time there's consequences, which is a necessary message to others who may try the same thing. Just listen to the victim.
This isn't even just about me. This is about the precedent that this sets for also every single, not only journalist, but American in the United States of America who has been basically politically targeted and attacked. What I would like to see after this is the left wing understanding that you cannot target people anymore. You cannot violently assault people anymore. I hope they start realizing that this is a country of law and order.
Yeah, she can get on your nerves, but she's right. She is right. This isn't just about her. This is about whether or not assault is now just a political opinion, because it's pretty clear that the left has created a farm system for this stuff. They got training camps where they learn the basics, what we used to call college campuses. Then you got the minor leagues, that's Antifa. They even have their own uniforms. They look like a marching band who got dressed in the dark. You've had speakers shut down, conservatives swarm, pro-lifers attacked, vandalism, intimidation, and too often they got away with it with no consequences. And when you let that system run long enough, you get what we're seeing now. It follows the broken windows theory, the view that tolerating smaller crimes can allow for bigger ones. Small stuff like physical harassment and mob intimidation eventually lead to far worse things. First, it's pushing, shoving, turning over tables. And before you know it, you're burning down police stations and offing political opponents. And yet the left and the media still want to have the same both sides argument. Even after the shooter who stormed the White House Correspondents' Dinner offered a screed that could have been lifted off an MS Now teleprompter. So what about this so-called debate over political violence? Well, what's to debate? The libs used to deny their guilt. Now they just say, well, you do it too. And by you, they mean whoever the Southern Poverty Law Center hired. But also, when they say both sides, they're pretending it's about violence when they're really only citing rhetoric. But we don't care about rhetoric unless it leads to violence. On one side, our side, the rhetoric stays rhetoric. Trump calls Rosie O'Donnell a loser. We don't try to kill her.
Yeah, I mean, he's calling her fat and ugly, basically, and that's like a joke, you know?
We just make fat jokes. Thank you. But you know, the moment Rosie needs help, we'll be there with sardines. But on the other side, it turns into action. You get called a Nazi, the next thing you know, your Tesla is torched. They compare you to Hitler, and suddenly you have to put all your Hitler memorabilia in storage. Hell, now I have to travel under an alias that no one would be familiar with.
Oh my God. Yes, Gutfeld, you went there.
But the Dems and media want this to be about rhetoric only, to hide that the violence is all theirs. They know that if you look at what's actually happening, who's getting attacked, who's doing the attacking, the whole thing falls apart faster than a sentence from Kamala Harris. So be happy that for the first time in a long time, we're going after smaller stuff. Because to stop them from moving up the ladder of violence, you got to get them at the first rung.
Wow, that is insane, guys. Now, take a listen to President Trump.
The United States, as you probably have heard, is doing better than it has ever done in terms of business and investment. The stock market has hit a new high, as you know, and that's for many, many days out of our fairly short 8 months. And we seem to be hitting new highs, and I think we're going to do much better even as time goes by. Jobs are at a record, and most importantly, we have more than $17 trillion. $17 trillion, and this is during an 8-month period being invested in the country, which is not only a record, but if you compare $17 trillion to
all that money coming in. And I've been investing heavy into the stock market. As you can see, my investments right now are up over $32,000. Right now, we have a completely free offer for you. If you want to start investing, if you want to join in on this economic boom of a lifetime, click the link below. Or you can now take out your phone and you can open up your camera app and scan this QR code, and it will pop up a link where you can download the app, and it is totally free. I'm not selling you on anything at all. This is just an app that I personally use. So you can scan that or click the link below to start investing. It's very beginner friendly. You can start with $5. You can even start with $1. So get signed up in a couple minutes. Your future self will thank you.
You can fight, you get in an argument, you get in a fight, keep it in the bar. Right. Not on the street.
I'll remember that. Yes, Your Honor, I attacked him, but I would like to say it was a bar.
Yes.
May I go now?
No, but I'm just saying that when you're in a bar fight, no one ever says, I'm sorry, language isn't violence. You don't have that conversation.
Greg, have you been in bar fights?
More than I care to remember.
Okay. I guarantee he's instigated some this time. They fight in gay bars?
And they get off on it. Yeah, they do.
It's hard to tell the difference between fighting and...
I love having Walter back on the show.
Tyrus, are you surprised how quickly America has gotten accustomed to these assassination attempts? It's like the SPLC gets exposed. A week later, there's an assassination attempt, and then we're already talking about the fact that Trump said something wrong.
Well, because when you have a side that's in favor of it and protects it, of course, this wasn't something they did over a weekend.
Yeah.
This has been the last 10 years to where they've normalized it. They've created a villain. Anybody who does anything against the villain is a martyr.
Yeah.
The one thing after watching that video again, they do have an out. And they're going to, because the daughter got so close with the whistle and she pushed at her, like, get away from me. Yeah. Get out of my ear. And then you hear the mom yell, you hit my daughter. So that's going to be how they're going to...
Blowing the whistle in the ear, I think that's like... I arguably could be assault. Like, a lawyer could argue that's assault.
Try to do it. So they're going to try to be... But they have made it to where they are always the victim because they are oppressed. And these white people don't want to be white. They're part of the oppressed, and they're fighting for Sharon and me. Yeah. And I'm like, at least take a fight lesson first. But the thing is that they are anticipating. The best part about this is they're anticipating help.
Yeah.
But we're doing something different now. We're giving the individuals the due they deserve. They're being charged. So when dad is going, where's our help? Where's this? When they get convicted and they're sitting in the jails and none of these groups are coming to help them.
Right.
When you start picking off one at a time and they get hit with real consequences, they're like, well, wait, where's the judge to let me out? Right. Where's the free cash? Where's the help? And that's how you break this. You have to hold them accountable.
Now look at this. How is Ilhan Omar not in jail, Gutfeld asks. Great question. Let's tune in.
Prepare yourself for the amazing, mysterious Omar. Oh, brother.
Yeah! Yeah. The mysterious Ilhan Omar just keeps getting more mysterious by the day. I mean, given her brazen shenanigans, how is she not in jail, or at least in a Mogadishu version of Real Housewives? She's a riddle wrapped in a mystery, covered in a hijab, and sitting on a pile of taxpayer money. Americans disagree with her anti-American policies. And even illegals think sneaking into America by marrying your own brother is gross. They'd prefer to sneak in the old-fashioned way, strapped to the undercarriage of Rosie O'Donnell. Earlier this week, we told you about how she issued a revised financial statement that slashed her and her husband's net worth from like 30 million to under 100 grand. I haven't seen that much cash vanish overnight since I let Winona Ryder crash at my pad in the 90s. Much of that wealth was tied to her husband's California winery, which they listed as valued up to $5 million, which makes sense since that's within DUI distance of Kamala Harris. But now, days after they filed that disclosure, the winery folded. It's as if her accountant is David Copperfield. Now you see it, now you don't. You know, I bet she's really forthcoming about it.
Congresswoman, can you tell us about your net worth dropping down to about 100,000?
The whole thing.
Can you just elaborate on what mistake was made, Congresswoman? What mistake was made on your financial disclosure forms to bring it down to 100,000 from up to 30 million? Just want to give you a chance to clear it up because people are wondering why it dropped so far down. Does your husband still have the consulting business worth about $8 million?
Oh, well, that's quite a brush off. But to her credit, back in Somalia, they usually gut you with a machete. Then there's this bizarre appearance on The Breakfast Club. Wow. I'm just a girl. My husband handles those things. Doesn't seem like he's buying it. He's like, don't play me, bitch. I'll slap those Napa Valley grapes right out of your mouth. Gotta say, though, she's not acting like someone who's worried about the law. Why is that? The House GOP did open an investigation into her wealth earlier this year, back in January, and she and her fellow Dems tried to steer $1 million in federal funds to a Somali-led Minnesota addiction facility that shared an address with a Somali restaurant. Because, you know, when you're going through heroin withdrawal, nothing stops the shakes like a bowl of goat balls soup. Only after Republicans flagged it did the earmark get removed from the spending bill. But they haven't hit her with anything formal yet. Until hopefully now. Here's Tom Homan when asked if there's any proof Omar committed fraud.
I sat down with the vice president, and he was talking about fraud. I asked about the Somali daycare fraud, and he just straight up jumped right in and said, Stephen Miller's upstairs, and he has proof that Ilhan Omar lied on her immigration forms. We have that paperwork. We know she did this. And now we're looking for how to take action. Can you fill us in?
The whole file is being reviewed. A lot of smart people are on it. Stay tuned.
Wait. I mean, maybe stay tuned and that smirk is hinting at something, but who knows? Still bugs me. Doesn't her corruption seem obvious? How easy is it to prove or disprove that she committed immigration fraud by claiming her brother as a husband? There has to be a form that she filled out. You just got to read it. Is that the problem? Do I need to go to CVS and buy Republicans a case of reading glasses? I mean, would either of us have this power over the law that she has? What hold does she have over D.C.? What pictures does she have of Republicans? Maybe Lindsey Graham in suede chaps dancing with Neil Patrick Harris at the Leather Stallion Saloon. I haven't seen them, but I've heard. Clearly, she thinks she's invincible, exempt from laws the rest of us follow, and she doesn't care how it looks. She even blew off a scheduled hearing she was invited to that examined her connections to a massive pandemic-era fraud. Why? Where was she? Was it date night? A family reunion? With her, it's often both. But who does that? She's got the confidence of an asshole teenager whose dad is the town sheriff. What is this Mogadishu mystique that keeps everyone from asking questions? It's what makes her the perfect incarnation of the modern Democrat Party, checking so many identity boxes you can't ask any questions. Black, female, Muslim, a supposed refugee. If she was trans, they'd change the Constitution and run her for president. Address. You know, Tyrus, it's like she's feeding into so many stereotypes. You know, one, that women can't handle their finances. You know, she kept blaming her husband. And now I'm led to believe that Somalians cannot do math.
Well, then she did a great job. Women say that stuff all the time, and when it comes to a divorce, they know where every dime is at. So, I just want to put that out there.
All the men clapping.
Yes. But let's be honest, man. The number one commodity in Somalia is being a pirate.
Yeah.
I mean, they give it away. They even wear the pirate hats and when they get here. But the reason why she's confident, it's not an identity thing. That's something for us to get stuck on.
Yeah.
She's part of the system.
Mm-hmm.
So until they don't need her anymore, Swalwell, it's part of the corruption.
Yeah.
You think Pelosi, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, and we're going to funnel money, we're going to help you do it. It is the blueprint of the government. The reason why Republicans aren't jumping in is because they got their own. Mm-hmm. Our government is so corrupt, and that's why they hate President Trump so much, because he already had his. And he exposed them. They loved him when he was on their side. And then when he's like, oh, he could expose the secrets. What we're seeing now is the pressure's coming because people are starting to talk. And so what they'll do is they'll cut off the dead weight. And unfortunately, she's part of the dead weight. Her, Swalwell, that's why she can't defend herself. She's panicking because she can't tell on that she's part of the thing. When you're across the board, show me one person in politics that for a job that pays $175,000. Bernie has 3 mansions. Mm-hmm. Like we're focused on one. Her little $30 million is like $10 compared to what's going on. They were all part of the fraud, but then they're going to have fall guys. And unfortunately, she's going to need a different pirate ship. I would not be surprised if they go on a family vacation to Somalia and not come back.
Yeah.
All right, we have breaking news. President Trump has caused a market rally. The S&P 500 has surged to a record high. If you begun investing, if you join my program, this is exactly what we are investing in. So take a listen.
Stock market just hit a record high. Isn't that something? Not just since the war began, but it's the highest it's ever been. Right now, it hit highs as that press briefing was ongoing. There hasn't just been a calm in the markets. Now there's actually a rally happening.
I think it shows the fundamental strength of the American economy.
Yep. President Trump is creating new opportunity for all of us. As you can see, my investments are up over $32,000 just from investing like Trump. I show you guys everything that I'm buying in the links below. If you want to start investing, you can start with just a couple of dollars. You can click the link below to sign up, or you can take out your cell phone, open up your camera app, and point it at this QR code. It will pop up a little link, click it, click Get Started, and follow the steps, join along. And if you have any questions, I made a completely free tutorial, which is also linked below too. Just click Get Started, follow all the steps. I'll see you in there. Greg Gutfeld said they are running from this story, and you cannot help but notice the look on Melania's face as she realized that they might be coming in to kill her husband.
Now, it is frightening, that is absolutely terrifying.
I think one of the things about that, Greg, in terms of like the first part of Obama's statement, it reminded me of all the reports of terrorism that you say, well, now we'll never know. What could it possibly be?
Well, they're running away from the story because they know they got their fingerprints all over it. I disagree with Harold with all due respect. A call for unity is not for us. We don't need it.
He called for it, though.
No, I'm just saying that it's not for me to hear. It's for your side. We don't need it because it's only a one-way thing. You mentioned some examples like the Pelosi thing, which is a mental illness thing. The Wisconsin thing, we still aren't sure what the hell happened there. The Whitmer thing was a plot who created the plot? That would take an entire special to go under. I disagree with Jesse. This guy did hear voices. They were Tim Waltz's, they were Ted Lieu's, they were Brandon Johnson's, they were CNN's, they were The View, they were MS Now. Okay. I think this is a helpful assassination attempt because it is the first one to show that you can be radicalized by liberal smugness.
Greg Gutfeld is obviously calling out President Barack Obama, who says, although we don't have yet the details about the motives behind last night's shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Well, okay, you don't have details about the motives, but it's quite obvious why this young man thinks this way, why many people online joke, why Jimmy Kimmel jokes about Melania Trump being, she looks like an expectant widow. It's like they laugh at this. They joke about this stuff all the time. They compared Trump to Hitler. Hillary Clinton compared Trump to Hitler, And Obama says, he said there were very fine people on both sides of a white supremacy rally. They come out and say this stuff time and time and time again. And Greg Gutfeld's like, they nurtured this. Look at this. Greg Gutfeld said they nurture this. He's exposing the truth big time, my friends. Let's tune in. Again, Greg Gutfeld's a funny guy, but he speaks facts.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Yeah. What's new? All right. Good evening, everyone. The White House Correspondents' Association dinner erupted in chaos after a crazed gunman rushed the security checkpoint and opened fire. The man was immediately grabbed, tackled to the ground, and offered his own primetime show on CNN.
God.
Good news, though, Nancy Pelosi was safe as she was wearing a bulletproof face. When reached for comment, Joe Biden said, "It's times like these that make me glad I'm already dead." Witnesses at the event had reported multiple shots. Did someone say multiple shots? Asked one woman. Witnesses say they first heard a loud bang, but had simply assumed that Chris Christie just tried the chili.
Oh, nasty.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz was not at the event, yet he still somehow fled the scene. Many guests pointed out the lax security measures at the venue in the wake of the shooting. In fact, many were shocked they would let in a deranged lunatic without any friends. But true, the shooting took place at the D.C. Hilton, the same venue where Reagan was shot. So for the rescheduled event happening in a month, organizers will look for a venue with less chance of gunfire, like Beirut. Most in the media present at the event expressed shock over the incident, although CNN's Brian Stelter wondered why couldn't they have held the assassination attempt until after dessert. To prevent people from entering dangerous parts of the building, the Secret Service closed off several areas. To ensure no one entered certain rooms, they put these on the doors.
Honestly, the Secret Service was a huge letdown that night. And it's embarrassing how bad the security was.
And finally, after the guests left, crews were seen packing up the ballroom, and one team of experts was called in to clean the plates. All right. So obviously Saturday night, a gunman opened fire at the White House Correspondents' Association dinner. To avoid bullets, guests ducked under tables, joining Don Lemon, who was already there. But when you get shot at 3 times, respectfully, you got to wonder, why does it keep happening to you?
True.
Respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, I've studied assassinations, And I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them.
Think about Joe Biden. How many assassination attempts did you see with him? I didn't hear about any. Because that guy, I didn't know what the heck he was doing.
But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after.
It's true. He's been shot at so many times, even rappers won't go near him. But Trump gave a great answer, but it's only part of the reason he was targeted. True, he's the most fearless, action-oriented president ever. And the crazy part is, Trump seems to be the least bothered by it. You talk trash about his beloved Diet Coke, and he'll pummel you with 1,000 tweets. Yet getting shot at is something he takes in stride. And there's really only one other president who lived with the constant threat of physical harm. But that was from his wife. Cute. Now compare that to Joe. In 60 years, nobody tried to off him, not even once. Do you know why? He wasn't doing anything. He had all the impact of Cousin Oliver on the Brady Bunch.
Well, Obama was basically telling Joe Biden what to do, so it's like Joe Biden was just basically a placeholder. Like, they could have put anybody in there. I mean, I don't think he was making the decisions on his own, like Trump is.
And really, the only time they shoot dead people is in zombie films. Trump's different. He had no love for kicking cans down the road. The only cans he did kick were his opponents. And their response? Well, if you can't beat him, kill him. And that's the other reason. Democrats and media created the target. Trump is a Nazi, a fascist, an existential threat. I could do a montage that goes on forever, but the fact that this still has to be explained makes me angrier than Bigfoot when he's mistaken for Joy Behar.
I mean, Joy Behar was talking with Hillary Clinton about Hillary Clinton was comparing Trump to Hitler.
Well, Gavin links the shooting to an attack on press freedom. Hakeem and Chuck lumped this attack into a bucket of all violence. And Obama's pretending we don't know why the man did this. Just like when Michelle threw away his rollerblades. But we know the violence is strictly one way. So much so, their extremists actually had to pay to create events for our extremists. And yet some leftists are claiming this was staged. This after the SPLC was exposed for staging large hate events. The irony here is thicker than Rashida Tlaib's mustache.
Ew.
The SPLC had to create enemies to fundraise off it. We don't have this luxury. No one from our side had to pay that Teacher of the Year to come after Trump. No one had to pay that trans fetish nutcase to kill Charlie. No one had to pay the Butler guy or had to pay the guy who wanted to assassinate Brett Kavanaugh or who shot Steve Scalise. Nope, Dems, you grew them, watered them, nurtured them, fertilized them in your echo chamber with your media lies and left-wing propaganda until they were ready to bear fruit. And like I always say, if Democrats aren't calling you Hitler, you're irrelevant. The proof is in the Loser's Manifesto, almost word for word what you'd hear from the mainstream left. Hell, it read like a transcript from the latest episode of The View. But you know, this might be the first assassin to be radicalized by smugness. Seriously, the shooter thought he was right on everything. And what unites all liberals is their lack of humility. They just think they're right all the time. It seems harmless and annoying at first, until their opinion becomes belief, and the belief hardens into an ideology. And if you believed you helped create that ideology, then you're more desperate to protect it. Even more, without a higher power to curb this hubris, the dogma turns deadly. After all, if you say Trump's a Nazi and you think you're always right, then why not do the right thing and kill the Nazi? And yet in the run-up to the dinner, it was still about press freedom being under threat, thanks to the evil, vile orange man. But then reality shows up, reminding us who's really getting shot at. Sorry, guys, it's not you, it's him. Maybe ask yourselves why.
Wow, that is crazy. But he honestly is speaking facts. We do have breaking news from President Trump himself. He's on the phone. Let's tune in.
But let's talk about Iran first. Iran, I'm looking at your numbers now as I speak. I mean, the market's up. We're going to be at 50,000. That's where we were just a little while ago when it started. And when I hit 50,000 on the Dow and 7,000 on the S&P, I said, well, I hate to do this to everybody, but I'm going to have to journey down to a place called Iran and not make sure they don't have a nuclear weapon, because they will blow up the world. You want to see a bad stock market? Try blowing up the Middle East and then Europe, and then they come for us, right?
And look at that. That was the little dip. And I told all of you guys, I'm buying in heavy right now. And then boom, the stock market is soaring again. My small little investment now has returned over $30,000. One of you guys even messaged me saying that you're up over 13 grand. President Trump even said the markets are gonna boom and the stock is gonna boom. And right now, for the first time, we have totally free access for you guys to sign up, to start investing. You don't need any money at all to begin. It's totally free. Now, if you're watching this on your TV, you can open up your camera app and point it at the screen, and it will actually pop up a little link on your phone. You can click it and then get started. But if you're watching this on your phone, just go ahead and sign up on the link below. It's the same exact thing. Here's what Tyrus has to say about it.
I think it does something to all of us as humans that is not good.
Yeah, I do think, though, Tyrus, that I am sensing something that no one's really talking about. People can make fun of people on the right for being religious or humorless. There are plenty of stereotypes, but there's something about the left, and that is the lack of humility. We know it when we see a liberal acting like they're right and you're wrong. There's a sense.
Well, it's absolutism.
Yeah, and I think that when I read that guy's thing and I read his post, I go like, he sounds like all of them.
Well, he is all of them. And he's not crazy. And in circles, he's not a bad person. He's a soldier.
Yeah.
He's a call to arms.
Yeah.
And that's what the whole plan was. I mean, we need to stop. The problem, though, I say it over and over again, we're too polite. If it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and tries to kill you, it's a duck. Like, they just...
It's a killer duck.
But you make jokes about it, but we're always, he's mentally this, he's that, this. No. What do you think the whole point of going out and saying that rhetoric?
And I actually heard that this shooter guy was actually a really well-educated guy. He wasn't just like a loony. He went to college. I think he was smart. I don't know his background, but I think that he was a quote-unquote, on the books, a smart, intelligent, successful guy. I think he still lived at home with his parents, but he lives in freaking California, where it's way too expensive to live on your own.
The thing is about the people in politics is they never want their hands dirty. So they'll say things over and over, and then you'll have these king rallies where they'll all get together and they'll preach this stuff and preach, and they believe it as much as you believe in your own lives.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a martyr. He's a hero. He's going to have so many letters.
Yeah.
He's going to have so many of those weird looking women singing outside his cell. Like, we're laughing, but like, the one thing they haven't had in this whole thing has been military, in shape, aged men. And now, lo and behold, they're showing up. So their work is getting better. I think, you don't need to bring this back.
Yeah.
You should never, ever have the president and the vice president in the same event again. You just can't. And to me...
Well, they're going to at the UFC event in June, so that's going to go down.
The most powerful thing that I saw in that whole thing going down was, the president knew who those shots were for, and what was his first move? His wife. That's why he's my president.
Yeah.
He was a man first, and he...
Boom, shakalaka. Well said.
Masculinity.
But here's the thing. He made, in his speech, and the president was a little shook up because he couldn't remember names of the guys he was trying to talk about Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
There's people that have tried to stand to make change, and when they make change, and let's not kid ourselves. How many billions of dollars is out of the pockets of politicians right now? How many of the defund groups and all that stuff? And ironically, this is a good time to have King rallies and send people to go attack, because why? Our stuff isn't funded. So the guards are down, and you don't have to be crazy to be like, hey, it's so easy to get him, guys. All you got to do is check. The best thing that happened was those guys took his ass down because now he's going to talk. And they're going to get more, because usually what happens is they end up with a bullet in their head, and then they say, oh, he's crazy, he's this. And we need to stop saying, like, because he's a teacher, like that's somehow honorable. These ain't the teachers that we grew up with.
Yeah.
These are the teachers that are grooming your kids, that are rocking flags, and that are trying to have sex with your kids, who want to take parents out of the home. Let's stop. These aren't the teachers that we think they are. He is a soldier, and we need to start recognizing the fact that there is a war in this country. It's just they don't fight like us. Yeah. They fight underneath us.
All right.
Wow, very well said, Tyrus.
Your stat. Yeah. If we have the go ahead. Tell me.
I want to interrupt. You know what? This is the problem. What we're the fact our closest here, we can't even let the other.
You're bringing up mass shootings when we're talking about this. Why?
Gun. I'm telling you. My point is.
Greg Gutfeld's pissed, guys.
Violence in our country has become so acceptable to resolve simple disputes, including political.
The murder rate is the lowest in history, Harold.
With 100 mass shootings, meaning four more people.
Yes, that's why I think you got to look at your stat. Yeah, if we have the lowest murders in history, what is your mass shooting about? Is it about gang violence? Is it about legal handguns in urban centers?
Four more people being shot, injured, or killed, not including the shooter. That's what I define as a mass shooting. So since January 1st of this year, we've had 101.
Right. Where are they? How are they causing?
They've been all across.
I bet they're all gang related.
They're not. None of these are gang related.
None
of these are gang related. 100? Greg, the night that this happened, brother, in Indiana, on the Indiana University campus, you had 9 people shot because 2 women got into an altercation after midnight over a burger.
Okay.
We are talking about political violence.
I'll look up the 100 shootings that were not gang violence.
But my point is, we have gotten to a point in our country where violence is and again, I understand my argument is not popular here at this table, but the reality is what it is. And gun violence is excessive, irresponsible, and uniquely American. And we need to understand that.
I'm actually glad that Greg pushed back on that because, he's talking about this and he's talking about that, but Greg Gutfeld's actually calling him out because, it's like just like what Hakeem Jeffries is saying.
Warfare. Brian Thompson as
Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
We are in an era of maximum warfare. Brian Thompson as the United Healthcare CEO was engaging in a tremendous amount of social murder.
Social murder? What?
The left's also going nuts with conspiracy theories that Trump staged the whole thing.
No.
A good chunk of the country thinks this was staged. And I don't think that. Let me just be clear. I don't think that. But where are we in America that the first conclusion so many people reach because of the polarization and because of some of the things that our elected officials have done?
Folks on the internet say that this was a false flag. But to see people say those kinds of things, it is frustrating and it's disturbing. It shows the issues that we have to try and fix in this country.
What issues do we need to try and fix because of that? Now, Greg Gutfeld says, would you take the wine or not?
Should she be cursed for quenching her thirst? After the bullets flowed, guests took one for the road. Here's this chick. She's making the rounds online for taking 2 unopened bottles of booze.
Bro.
Off a table at the correspondence dinner after the shooting. Which makes us wonder, would you take the wine or
How many bottles is she taking?
Kennedy, you kind of paid for the dinner and you didn't get the dinner. But, maybe this is what you do in a crisis. You grab the wine.
Greg, I will tell you, I did not grab a bottle of wine. I grabbed 3 bottles of champagne. That's
Really?
And I do it every year after the correspondence dinner because every news organization has to pay for the champagne. And they're all left in the ice buckets when everyone has left the ballroom. This year, unfortunately, we were evacuated. And there was so much Moet. There was so much...
Okay, we're done. This is kind of a dumb story. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. So, but I'm actually glad Greg Gutfeld was speaking on this because I think he spoke a lot of truth. Now, President Trump just came out to address the nation. Let's listen in.
You better go out and buy stock now. Let me tell you, this country will be like a rocket ship that goes straight up. This is going to be numbers that nobody's ever seen before.
I've been investing heavily into the stock market. Even one of you guys messaged me saying that your investments are up over 13 grand. I'm up over $32,000. And right now we have a free offer. Click the link below. Or you can take out your phone right now and scan this code. Open up your camera app. Just download the app. It's totally free. You can get started today. And watch my free investing tutorial too. I break down everything that I'm buying. All right, so Gutfeld just exposed the truth big time about all of this chaos going on in our world. Let's tune in.
Nothing you said matters. Every single
Welcome
thing,
back, Greg.
No, everything you said does not matter. Because it doesn't. Because everything you mentioned are the consequences of the. Oh, you can go ahead and stop. How did we get here? Pull back. How did we get here? An open border that let millions in, and you guys didn't give two X about. Okay,
not great for that border.
All right. We had dozens of deaths where you didn't say shit. Jocelyn Nungary, Laken Riley, Rachel Morin, Molly Tibbetts. I'm going to just do it because this is just, I can't believe that we're still talking about this stuff. Here's 3 pages of women who have been murdered by illegal aliens in the last 7 or 8 years. The 7 or 8 years that we have been here talking about this and mocked over it. When we showed the embassy, showed the border being overrun and people laughed at us. And now you're here. It's like you're the maid trying to clean up a mess and somebody there is staring at you going, oh, you got to clean it up better. No, you made the mess. This is the Democrat Party's mess that we are trying to clean up. And you're saying, wow, these ICE agents are using terrible language. We don't care. I'm bored by this. I'm absolutely bored by this. I'm bored by the Nazi stuff. I'm bored by the concerned people in the media. They were not concerned when innocent women were raped and murdered. They didn't care about the 50 who died when they were incarcerated under Obama. They didn't care about the 27 or 30 that were shot under Obama. But now they care now. You deserve no attention on this. You deserve no credibility on this. It's actually comical because here's my feeling. It seems like you're ready for another one. You had good, that went for a couple of weeks. You had this guy, went for a week or so. You're going to need a third one. This is what this is about, because this is what creates the motivation for this drama. This drama that could have been prevented if you guys just listened to the sensible people. Why is it that the cities that aren't sanctuary aren't having any violence? Why is it that the rate of violence in what's the name of the city? Minneapolis is 5 to 7 times higher than cities that are 3 or 4 times larger? Why is that? You guys are always feigning this performative ignorance that you don't understand things. You never explain your own ignorance. Why is there so much violence in Minneapolis and not in Texas? Well, see, there are different people. There are people who, when they hear an awful crime, when Molly Tibbetts is murdered, they think of their wife, they think of their kids, they think of their sister, they think of their mother. What do Democrats think about? There's a step before they even think about their family. They think, how does it affect my public persona? How does it affect my potential politically? How do I deal with this so that I get instant gratification and empathy? We don't think like that. We don't care. You can call me a monster that's saying all these people are getting deported. I don't care. I don't care about any of this performance anymore, Jessica. It's done. And you know what? Neither does Trump. People are voting for the law. They want the law. If you want to cry about murderers and rapists, do it on your own time.
Whoa! Boom! Shakalaka. Greg Gutfeld. He is not holding back at all, my friends. Yeah, I really think Greg Gutfeld hit it right on the head with talking about how these people, you know, the way they talk about Trump, it's like it actually does affect constituents. Who would have thought that the people leading the country actually have an influence? People look up to Hakeem Jeffries, Hillary Clinton, Yasmin Crockett, you know, and they believe them and then that's just how they feel.
Well, you are looking there at shocking new photos of suspected shooter Cole Allen taken in his hotel room just moments before he attacked the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The shooting marked the...
Bro was taking selfies before, and he was armed with how many weapons? How did he get in there in the first place unchecked?
Third attempted assassination plot targeting President Trump in just 2 years. And despite fresh calls to cool the rhetoric that puts a target on Trump's back, some on the left are digging in. Governor J.B. Pritzker, when reacting to the DOJ indicting Comey, somehow finding a way to accuse Trump of inciting violence.
What? Even after he almost got assassinated, then they're making Trump look like the bad guy? What the heck, man?
This president is guilty of inciting violence, and now he's using the First Amendment. He's going after people for exercising their First Amendment rights and claiming that they're the ones who are attacking people. This whole administration seems full of people who are just following whatever this demented president tells them to do.
He's saying that after Trump was nearly assassinated, calling him a demented president?
Others on the left are deflecting, insisting that political violence is not a Democrat problem, even though Republicans have been the target of numerous attacks. Watch.
No one's legitimizing violence in any way. I have very little patience for this.
Wait, did George Stephanopoulos get fired? Is this his new show from his couch? Did I miss something?
Has the president faced 3 threats in the last couple of years? Absolutely. Is that abominable? Absolutely. The problem of political violence and extremism is evident on both sides.
The Democrats are blamed all for their rhetoric. When what I hear over and over again is Democrats saying, please tone it down, please tone down the rhetoric. That's not what we stand for. And we have seen, frankly, from the other side, from Trump and others, elevated rhetoric. Now, you don't want to get a he said, she said place, but it's really infuriating.
Wait, so Joe Biden's former White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, is blaming Trump after he almost got assassinated how many times now?
Elevated rhetoric. Now, you don't want to get a he said, she said place, but it's really infuriating.
But Vice President J.D. Vance is pushing back, telling Will Cain that rage-fueled Democrats need to take a long look in the mirror.
If you're engaged in that kind of rhetoric, you need to check yourself. If you're part of the left wing in this country, you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, why is it that so many of the people who are firing guns at their political opponents agree with my perspective and listen to the same sources of information that I listen to? Maybe that suggests the left has got to tone down the rhetoric a little bit.
Yeah, Jesse, it's incredible how lopsided it is. I don't know the rose-colored glasses that they're using.
Well, the glasses are worn by 2 Democrat press flacks for Democrat presidents. Where would they get this idea, Emily, that Trump is such a threat, that he needs to be taken out? Where would they get the idea that he's such a unique danger, a genocidal dictator like Hitler, who at any day could just kill everybody in sight?
Well, Hillary Clinton compared Trump to Hitler on The View, right, Jesse?
Where would they get the idea that he's mentally deranged and that the cabinet and perhaps the military might have to do something about that? That he's already putting immigrants, innocent ones, in concentration camps and killing innocent fishermen? Where would they get the idea that he was a Russian traitor, a sexist, white supremacist who... his slogan means really go back to when women and blacks couldn't vote? This isn't coming from the dark underbelly of the internet. This is coming from the mainstream media.
And the leading Democrats, too, like Hakeem Jeffries, Yasmin Crockett, AOC. Gutfeld just absolutely annihilated Jessica Tarlov, my friends. Let's tune in.
Right.
And you know what?
The
Nobody
people are real.
Nobody.
The white supremacists
Okay. You know
are real.
what?
Who got the call to action.
Let me do the simplest analogy. This is like when somebody says, on average, men are taller and way more than women. And then one woman goes, but what about her? And they point to a WNBA player. Yes, Jessica, I'll give you. There probably is a bigot somewhere, but you guys created a false flag that there was this immense movement going on in this country that then put targets on people like Charlie Kirk's back, and he's dead. And a lot of other people were either threatened, physically attacked because of a false flag, which painted an entire, basically, millions of people as white supremacists. You guys ran with it. Imagine if Trump had not won and Kamala Harris had won. Imagine where the SPLC would be now. Imagine how torn apart this country would be. And by the way, I hope that this thing mends, but I don't know, because there are people like you, Jessica, who have such a sunk cost in this belief that this is a belief you were tricked into believing, to think that there's all these racists hiding behind every Cracker Barrel. No, you know what the racists were? They were the anti-racist black activists who saw this as a way to go after whites. This racism that you created was designed to allow for a different kind of racism. And I go back to the contrast. We don't have to defend our racists because we don't know who they are, because you create them. Meanwhile, we don't have to make up your racist because you're standing there with Hassan Piker. These guys are right there in our face.
Yeah. Hold on, I got to get. Can you say the victims that they don't exist or whatever? Yeah. The 23 people who died in the Walmart in El Paso, going to Buffalo, going to the Tree of Life Synagogue, those were all
that is
killed.
not part of that is not part of the psyop or the false flag. Of course, you're violating the exception to the rule fallacy.
I'm not.
Yes,
Jesse said everything is fine. We all love each other.
You know what he was doing.
I got to get each other more than you guys make it out today.
Yeah. Wow. Again, I did not want to interrupt. Greg Gutfeld obviously has had enough of this BS when it comes to Jessica Tarlov, and a lot of people have. This is going viral of what she's been saying, what she's defending. And again, when you look at exactly what has happened here, many people don't want to accept the fact, especially a lot of people on the left, as to what was actually found, right? What was actually found in this.
Okay, we do have breaking news from President Trump. Let's tune in.
Sir, what are your top priorities now for the economy for the rest of the year?
To be honest, we are doing so well. You look at this. I hit the 50,000 Dow mark, which everyone said couldn't happen in 4 years. I did it in 1 year. I hit the 7,000 S&P mark in less than 1 year, which was a number, as you know, you reported it. They said if at the end of 4 years you hit those numbers, I did it at the end of a year.
One of you guys even messaged me saying that you are up almost $14,000 since investing in the stock market. Personally, I'm up over $30,000 just from investing into very low risk stocks. And you don't need a lot of money to get started. We actually do have a completely free app that you can sign up for right now with the link below. Or you can take out your phone, scan your QR code with your camera app, and click the link to get started. I also have an investing tutorial below, which you can follow along, and I go over everything that I'm buying. It's very beginner friendly and easy. You can start with just a few dollars. You know, we are seeing record-breaking highs. The stock market is hitting record highs right now. While Trump is still president, I'm going to be investing heavy into the market. I just personally trust President Trump right now. And if you've never invested before, don't worry. You can start with just a few dollars. Your future self, your children, or your grandchildren will thank you for taking this completely free step.